Hello, beautiful. Welcome to the Coloring Book for Women. I'm so excited that you're joining me today as we color along another fairy from our Forest Fairy coloring book. I picked up this one for today, and I have something really special that I want us to practice on her wings. We're going to be doing a gradient, so we'll be changing colors, going from a yellow all the way to a green. I'll show you how. These are the colors we're going to be using today. We're going to be using True Blue, which is the Prismacolor 903. We're also using Light Cerulean Blue, which is the Prismacolor 904. We'll use Indigo Blue, the 901. We also have Dark Green, which is the 908. Grass Green, 909. We have True Green, 910. Apple Green, which is the 912. Canary Yellow, 916. Spanish Orange, 1003. Goldenrod, which is the 1034. Peach, 939. Tuscan Red, 937. Crimson Red, 924. Orange, which is a 918. Poppy Red, 922. And last but not least, our black and white. Black is 935 and the white is the 938. Okay, well, let's get started then. We're gonna start this time with the wings because that's what I want to show you so you can try it out and tell me what you think. We're gonna use 4 colors to do the gradient on the wings. We're gonna use the Canary Yellow. We're gonna use the Spanish Orange, and this is the one we're gonna start with, Spanish Orange. Then we'll be following that one with the Canary Yellow, transitioning to True Green, and then finishing with the Apple Green. So those are the 4 colors we're going to use to do the gradient on the wings. The way we're going to do it is, well, first of all, make sure you've sharpened all your pencils and you're ready to go. And we're gonna start like light pressure, just applying at the very beginning of her wings, close to her. And we're gonna do it all across. In this areas, like the lower parts, I'm not even gonna add the Spanish Orange because there's so little that I want that to be the Apple Green and the True Green. So it's just going to be in this areas that are much closer to her. And we're using light pressure to begin and start our coloring. We'll be adding more pressure as we go, building up those colors. So we work with layers. Okay, we're gonna switch now to our Canary Yellow. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna start applying this Canary Yellow like in the middle or where the Spanish orange ends. Just kind of like a little over that area where it ends, and then we open it up. So from where it ends and just a bit over, and we open it up. This one we're also doing light pressure. I'm not applying it all the way down because we have less room right there. So those are going to be just for the green colors that we're using on the gradient. Okay, we're going to switch now to our true green. We're going to do the same. We're going to start applying it just before the canary yellow ones. That's where we're going to start applying the green, going over it and then opening it up. Light pressure. We're going to be building the color. So we'll go slow in the beginning. See, we get to apply a little bit of this one right here. Just like that. Okay, we're going to switch now to the apple green. And we're going to apply from the top. And we're going to bring it down and go past and mix it in with the true green. How's your day going so far? How are you enjoying coloring the Forest Fairy coloring book? It's so beautiful seeing your color pages that you do with the color along. I appreciate that. It always makes me smile seeing your finished pages. I've been having so much fun doing these, and it's nice to come and relax for a bit with you. And we're just doing that. We're applying the apple green, our last color in the gradient, which we're mixing or merging there with the other colors we're using. Here you notice I don't see a lot of the true green, so I'm going to apply a little bit more here. And I'm going to keep applying my apple green. And then we're going to go and apply another layer so we can get all the white areas to disappear. And we're applying it with a little bit more pressure this time, but don't go full pressure yet because we're still building that color. And we want to be able to get those colors meeting and blending where they meet. So I'm just going over the very top first right now. That's where I'm applying a bit more pressure, and then I'm slowly bringing it closer to where the true green is. If you're wondering why is MJ not coloring the Forest Fairy coloring book in the order that she put it in the book, well, kind of pick up the book every day that I'm going to do a color along, and then just see which of the fairies says, here, color me. And so that's how I've been picking each of the fairies I've been doing for the color alongs. Just take the book out and see which one wants to be colored today. How do you pick your fairies or your pages when you color? Like, do you start from the beginning and go like that, or do you just flip through and find the one that's speaking to you that day? We're going to switch back to using our true green in a bit. Just going to finish with the apple green first, and then we're going to work our way through the grading. Okay, let's switch to true green, and what we're doing is we're going over the apple green that we applied up here, and we're bringing the color down. This time around, we're definitely applying more pressure to it. And we go with lighter pressure as we get to that area where the color meets with the next one, which is our canary yellow. There we go. Let's switch now to our canary yellow. We're going to do the same. We're going to start applying it from the top where it meets with the true green, and we're going to come down. Just like that. We'll go over all that area that we first applied the canary yellow, and we merge it so to speak, with the color that comes before and the one that comes after. Just like that. I'm going in motions side to side, following along the wings, the movement on her wings. That's kind of how I'm doing it. Remember, when we're going towards the side or to where the color meets with the one we were just applying the first layer, we kind of go with a little bit of less pressure. Where we already use more pressure, we go with more pressure. So it goes from light to stronger pressure as we move along the gradient. There we go. Now we'll switch to the Spanish orange. We'll start where we meet with the canary yellow. Sometimes I like doing the back and forth, or sometimes I do little ovals as I'm coloring. What do you like best? What feels right for you? And we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. We started with our Spanish orange. Very little light pressure in the beginning. That's about the area where the Spanish orange will go. We'll switch to canary yellow. And as you get to know your colors, how they work together, then you start knowing how much pressure you need to apply. So in the beginning, maybe we were going lighter pressure, but for her second wing, since you know what range of color you're gonna get, you can go a little harder if you want. Get it started from the beginning. We'll switch now to the true green. Whoops. Remember, we go over the area where we applied the previous color, and we start from there. Okay, we'll switch now to the apple green. Start where the other color ends. Go on top of it. And work your way up. And we're gonna keep using our apple green. We're gonna start from the top. Now we're going or walking or working our way back, just like we did with the other side. For this time, when you're walking your way back or working your way back, you start with more pressure at the top and then ease off as you move along, because that's where the other color is going to come in with more pressure and then ease off. Like that. For this color along, I wanted to pick the colors again from the 24-piece set just to keep it accessible for everyone. There's so much you can do with like 12 colors, like even 24 colors. There's so many possibilities to create something beautiful that you love, that you enjoyed creating, that you have so much fun creating. So this is your work of art. This is just for you. Okay. We're gonna switch again to our true green, and we'll start from the top, applying with more pressure where it meets with the apple green. We try to make them match, but if they don't, that's okay. We do our best. Sometimes hard to measure that where to start mixing the colors, so just do it whatever feels right for you. Good. Now we're going to switch to our canner yellow. Start with it meets with the other color, with the true green. And bring it down. It's okay to like pull it up or pull it down, the colors as you see fit, as the colors are telling you, I want to go here. That's okay. Just follow what feels right for you. Like that. We'll switch to our Spanish orange. Notice how sometimes I'm going over all three colors just to get those gradient effect, get them all to work together. Okay. If you want to go over it again, you can do that until you're until you're ready. Say, my wings are done. Okay, we're gonna switch now to her skin. This time I want to use the peach, which is the 939. We're gonna use the goldenrod again, 1034, and we're gonna use a bit of green to get her more of that forest feel. Since her wings have those green tones, I wanted to incorporate some green on her skin as well. For her skin, the green we'll use is the apple green. I'm gonna get this one sharpened since we were using it for the wings. I had the other two ready to go. Let's see. We're gonna start by applying our peach everywhere very lightly. We're going to do just a little bit of peach, very delicate layer everywhere. This time we're starting with the lighter color, and then we're gonna build up our other colors and go to the darker areas, to where the shadows are, to where the light doesn't hit her that well. Oh, if you want to avoid those marks, don't use your tip. That's what happened there. I switched a bit and then boop, got that line. So make sure you're using the side of your color pencil for this layer. Just like that. And yeah, since we're just applying that first layer and we want it to be really light, that's why I'm using the side of my color pencil. And we're going everywhere where we see her skin, that's where we are applying it. I would love to know, are you new to coloring? Have you been coloring for a while? What's your story? How did you get into coloring? It's so interesting to see how we've all come together with this beautiful art of coloring, and we all have a different story why we ended up here. It's fascinating to hear your stories, learn how you got into it, what you like about it, how coloring helps you in your life. I'm going to do her arm as well. Since we're doing her skin, we're going to do her arm. Okay, I think that's about it. Let's switch now to using our, where did it go? Here. Our goldenrod, the goldenrod, the 1034. We're gonna start filling in some of those areas. Look, her lips a bit, under her neck, where there's a bit of a shadow there. still, we're just doing light pressure right here. Let's go to her ear. Go back to her face. I'm using more of the tip for her nose area, just to mark that right there. That line on her lips, or there, with her lips meet, I'm putting the goldenrod as well. And underneath, I'm going to apply it there as well. Her jawline, I'll do some goldenrod. On this side, of course. And just under her eye right there. Her forehead. On the left side, we're applying some of the goldenrod too. And under this hair string, right there. Just a little, bring the color in, mix it in with the peach. Let's do a bit of her arm now. Kind of around those areas where her dress is, or her hair. That's where we're applying the goldenrod. We're going to take the peach again, and we're going to go again lightly, kind of mixing the colors together very, very lightly. We don't want it to turn out too pink, because we're going to be adding a bit of the green. I'm going to add the goldenrod again here. Again, it's a little more right here. And then, yeah, with your peach, just go back again and get them all to work together. You can apply more pressure on where her blush you think would be. That's kind of where I'm applying more pressure right now. And then lighter on the other areas. I'm only using the side of my coloring pencil right now. That's all we're using. Apply a little more pressure where you think her blush would be. Just to highlight those areas. And let's not forget doing her arm a little more again. I'm going over the goldenrod we applied where it was darker, and that's where I'm applying the peach and then bringing it down to mix with everything else. We're gonna switch to our apple green. We're gonna apply a bit of the apple green. Let's apply a bit of it on her lips. And, right there. Just like that. And then on the side of her face where those dark areas are, we'll bring in a little bit. All across those areas where we applied the goldenrod, we're just going over them a little, highlighting them. And kind of like on her blush side, but I'm doing it with very little pressure for her blush. And underneath her neck. And we go on her arm. On those areas where we did the goldenrod, we go over them lightly. And then we mix it all in. Okay. We'll leave her skin for right now. We're gonna come back to it in a bit. Just like that. We're gonna switch now to doing her hair. For her hair, I chose, this one, the dark grass green, the 909, the true green, which is the 910. Just gonna sharpen it quickly. And I also chose the goldenrod again, the 1034. So our true green is nice and sharp, grass green nice and sharp. We just need to sharpen the 1034 goldenrod. Remember, when you're working with your color pencils, keep them nice and sharp. That's going to make your job way easier. Okay. And I want to start with the darker areas. The darker areas, we're going to use the grass green. So we find those dark areas on her hair and we apply our dark green with light pressure. And you can build up as you see fit. Oh. Just like that. Okay. For those sections where you're going to go over the dark lines on her hair, definitely use the tip, the point of your color pencil to get more definition. Hold it from from the very beginning so you have more control. Just like that, we're going over all of her hair, looking for those areas where the grass green is telling us it needs to go. just have fun with it. You'll notice how some areas you need to use less pressure, some others require you to apply more pressure. So as you're coloring and you're practicing, you'll be able to measure how you apply your pressure depending on the areas you're working on. Like that. Let's go to the other side. And remember, probably you're going to want to come back and apply some of the colors you already applied. That's okay. So it doesn't mean you're using the grass green right now and you're not going to pick it up again to add again on her hair. You probably will. This is just our first go at her hair with the grass green, and then if we need to pick it up again, we will. Okay. When you start noticing your color pencil, it's not giving you fine lines where you want them, time to sharpen it. I'm getting to the point. Yep, I probably should sharpen it now. Let's do it. You can see the difference right away when you just sharpen it. It's just get more detail. So depending on what you're working on, if you're doing those little details, smaller areas, make sure it's sharp. Very nice. Let me know in the comments what else you would like to see for the color alongs. If you want to use something other than Prismacolor color pencils or color pencils. I love using the markers or the double brush pens. Those are always so much fun. So we can try those next time. Just let me know if you want to try different mediums for your fairies. I figured color pencils are something almost everyone has. It's easy to get. The colors are very easy to find in other brands as well. So if you don't have the Prismacolor ones, you can find colors that resemble or are like the grass green, for example, in other brands. So that's why I picked out the color pencils. I thought it would be the easiest thing for everyone. And it's a way to learn different techniques, different things that you can do with them. Okay, I now want to switch to our true green. Let's start with the true green. We're going to apply it for the medium dark areas or medium areas. So yeah, with this true green, we're just going over all those areas. And it's okay if we don't get all of them, because we're going to apply the goldenrod over it. So we're just kind of filling parts of it, so then we can come and fill those areas that didn't get some color with our goldenrod. As much as I can, I try to go on the same direction that her hair is going. I try to do the same with my color pencil. Some areas I am going with a bit more pressure, others I'm just going lightly. Here where it's darker, yes, I'm going to go with more pressure and get all that color in, just like that. Kind of watch those areas where there's more detail, there's more mixing, just so we don't get the colors mixed. Sometimes that happens, that's okay. Okay, we're gonna switch now to the goldenrod, just to apply in some areas, go over some of it there. Kind of like highlights every now and then. We're going all over her hair where we see those sections that need a little bit more color. Yeah, you just follow along her hair. See where those extra bits of color are needed. It's really up to you where you want to add it. Where is the color telling you it wants to go? Okay. Let's do a bit of the grass green on her eyebrows. Light pressure. Just like that. Okay. We're gonna switch now. We're gonna start doing her crown, her headpiece. For that, we're gonna be using the canary yellow. I also picked out the crimson red and the Tuscan red. We're going to be working with those for her headpiece. I want to use the Tuscan red on the twigs, all those little strings that are forming the crown. And the canary yellow is going to be for those little flowers that we see every now and then. So I'll start with the Tuscan red first. And I'll just go over the areas where I see a little twig. And I'm applying quite a bit of pressure. I'm just using the point of the tip of my color pencil. Go wherever the color tells you it wants to go. Just like that. Just like that, go over all those areas that you think should be in crimson, Tuscan red. go. Remember, we can go back and use the Tuscan Red again. I'm gonna switch to, oh, hold on, now I see another area where I want it. I'm gonna apply it here too. And here. So yeah, as you work your way through your coloring page, you find some things first, and then you do another pass and you find other ones. So you can go back and fix them, do them how you want. I'm gonna do now the crimson red. Some of these little sections. When you're working on your coloring pages, and if you want some inspiration on what colors to use, it's a good idea to grab a color wheel. I think I have a couple of posts on our Facebook page where you can find it. I'll post a new one, so there's one at the very top. But it's just so handy to have it as a reference, because then you can see how different colors work together. Which ones are the ones sitting next to each other that you can use when you're doing your gradients. That's a really good reference when you want to do a gradient. Check out the color wheel. What are those 4 colors that are sitting next to each other? Then you'll know if you can use them to create a gradient. For this crimson red and the details that I am applying on her headpiece, I am going with quite a bit of pressure, just so we can get all the color in, because we're working with the small area on her headpiece. So for those details, you need more pressure. It's kind of hard to go with light pressure on here. I guess you could, it's just since you're using the tip of your color pencil, it's a little harder to use light pressure. Find those areas where you see crimson red belongs. I'm going to apply it over here as well. In this bottom areas, I'm not applying it all the way, I'm just applying it to the very tip of the leaf. So I'm going to mix it in with the canary yellow we're also using. don't escape, fairy. You're not ready yet. Let's see. We're going to switch to our canary yellow for those other areas on her headpiece. I'm applying it, the canary yellow, on those other areas that I didn't color on her headpiece. That's where I'm applying the canary yellow. There we go. I'm gonna apply it as so right here, and I'm gonna mix it in with the red. Okay. Now let's get started with her dress. For her dress, make sure if you're going to use your canary yellow again, which I think, yes, I have other areas where I'm going to be using it. Make sure you sharpen it, because when we were working up here and then blending it with the crimson red, it got dirty. So if you're going to be using it with a different type of color, you want to make sure it's nice and clean, or if you just want to apply it on its own, make sure it's not going to have some of that red and where you don't want that red. So we're moving on to her dress. For her dress, I picked out the light cerulean blue, and we're going to be applying it all over her dress. Everywhere you see she has her dress, that's where we're going to be applying it. And we're going to go with light pressure. We're going to be highlighting those details on her dress in a bit, but first we're going to go over the whole thing with the light cerulean blue. I like to follow the line. For example, if the lines on her dress aren't going up and down, that's how I like to color, following those lines. Remember, light pressure, only right here where I saw that it's darker, I applied a little more. But other than that, we're just going light. I was going to say that another great thing of working with a smaller amount of color pencils I found, since you don't have to choose from so many when you're going to color, like it just simplifies the whole process. You're not overthinking what colors am I going to use or anything like that. You just use what you have and you make them work, and you make them create the beautiful results that you want them to create. So I've been enjoying like limiting my options when coloring, because then I have to use those um, colors that I have, and I have to make them work. And I realize I probably wouldn't have picked them if I was using the whole box. So I've been enjoying being able to use the basics, like go back to the basics and getting to know these colors better and enjoying them. Just like that. And we're going to do the details for her dress. We're going to use the 908, the dark green. For that, we're going to go over all these areas that you see here. Just like that. So for this, since we're doing details again, remember, keep your color pencil sharp. So with this dark green, we're just going over all those details that we see on her dress, just highlighting them. So make sure your color pencil is so sharp so you can get all those details in. I also want to take this moment to let you know that I have my new book getting ready to be released this week, so I'm super excited. I hope you can check it out. It's going to be so cute. Make sure you're following us on our Facebook page or on Instagram, and that you are part of the Coloring Books for Women group on Facebook. We share a lot of freebies there, news, exciting news, beautiful work from all the creative and talented souls that are part of the group. It's just a really fun community to be around and learn from. We have some talented people there, so I think you're going to enjoy it and you're going to learn from it and just have a lot of fun. That's good. Let's see what else we have to do on this side. We're going to move on to the front, but first I want to sharpen our dark green and make sure it's ready to keep going. How are you doing so far? Have you taken any breaks? Make sure you have something to drink close by. Stay hydrated. We're just going over all those lines that we see on her dress just to highlight those details. Add a bit of color there. If you need to sharpen your color pencil, let's do it again. Since we're working with like really fine details, you really need to get them nice and sharp. That's the good thing of working with double brush pens. When you get that little tip, the fine tip, it just, for this kind of detail, using those are so nice. And you don't have to be sharpening it over and over again. Just a different result that you get. It's also fun to try new mediums, see which ones you like to use best, depending on what you're trying to achieve, what you want your color page to look like. Combining them, it also gives you different results, allows you to highlight things that you can't when you just use one. So it's just nice knowing different ones and knowing when to use each one, depending on what you want to achieve. What do you like using best? What's your favorite medium to color with? Here we go. We're gonna put our green, dark green. If you feel like you need to go back to any areas in her dress, go for it. Right now, I want us to do the sunflower that we have over here. For that, we are going to use the poppy red. We're gonna apply it really lightly. It's gonna be for the center. Just lightly. We don't have to go like on every single area. We're gonna be using another color to blend it. We're gonna be using our golden rod. So we first did a pass with poppy red for the center, and now we're gonna do golden rod on top. Fill those areas that we didn't fill in at the beginning when we did poppy red. We're filling them with this golden rod. For this area, since like the lines are just going everywhere and I'm not doing little by little each one, just going all over when I'm doing my strokes. I'm not following any lines like I normally do for the hair or the dress, or even when we're going to be doing the leaves. I'm just going all over the place and just very good. We're going to switch over and we're going to start with the leaves. For the leaves, I want to use golden rod. I'm going to use, here you are, Spanish orange and our canary yellow. So these three colors are going to be for the leaves. And we're going to start with the golden rod, and we're going to apply it right here at the bottom. We're going to go to do some lines going up. The very bottom, and then draw a couple of lines going up to follow those lines that we see on the sunflower. Just a little like that. We're going to switch over. We're going to use our Spanish orange, and we're going to go everywhere from the bottom all the way up. I'm applying quite a bit of pressure when I'm doing the Spanish orange because we want that color to really get in there. And we're blending it with the goldenrod that we applied in the beginning. So for the sunflower, we applied that goldenrod first, and then we're putting this Spanish orange above it and bringing it up. Okay, we're gonna finish it off with the canary yellow. We're gonna go from the top of sunflower and bring some of the color inward towards the center, filling out any space that we're seeing that needed some more color. We're just adding the color right there. A lot of pressure right now. We're really putting all our weight in to fill it with the color. Nice. And now we're gonna start with our leaves on the left side and some of the leaves that are over here. For those, I want to be using our apple green and combining it with our Spanish orange. So let's just make sure they're both nice and sharp. This one's good to go. What we're gonna do first is do the contour of them, of the leaves and those lines with the apple green. So using the apple green, we go over the lines that we see on our leaves. And all that contour of them. That's good. Keep going with all of them. Right now I'm not going to be doing a lot of changes on the leaves. We're just going to be using these two colors, and we're going to be working with those to get them all looking about the same way. I guess on my next color along we can focus on doing some different leaves, different colors, different shades. I'm hoping each of these color alongs can focus on a new fun thing to learn, a new trick, new technique that can be unique and useful for your coloring projects. So for today that we did the gradient, you can apply it on any other coloring page that you're using. You go to your color wheel and you get some ideas for what to put to create your own gradients. Just going over all of those leaves that I'm looking at and doing all those lines, tracing those lines I'm seeing. That's all. We're using apple green. If your color pencil needs sharpening, let's go ahead and get it sharpened. Just like that. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do this other side, the right side, since we're using our apple green and it's still sharp. We just sharpened it, so I might as well just get it over here. Same thing, just going over all those lines. Okay, we're gonna put it down and we're gonna take our Spanish orange. We're gonna go light pressure and add color to our leaves. we're filling all those areas where we marked with our apple green. We're getting them filled with our Spanish orange. Oh, I just realized we didn't do apple green on this one. For these lines right here, we missed them. I missed them. Maybe you caught them. So the other side, same thing. I'm gonna add a little more of the apple green over them. Slightly. Anywhere that you feel you want to add it, just go for it. Just adding on some of them. And let's continue. Let's do this side and the left side. We're going to do it with two colors. We're going to be using our, don't run away, fairy. We're going to be using our orange, the 918, and we're going to apply this one first, all over, all this sort of frame section, and we're doing light pressure for this. On the side too. We're going all the way up. We're going to cover it all up with the orange. This right side, I am doing more pressure on it. It's this line that's over here. And let's go back to doing our light pressure for the other area. Purple right there. And I'm just going a little slower on that section where the wings meet with sort of frame we have on the right side and on the left. Just going a little bit more careful there. We're almost there. You're doing really good. Thank you for joining me today. It's been fun coloring together. I hope you're enjoying it. You're having some time to relax and just enjoy yourself. This area, for example, like if you wanted to have it with more detail, you absolutely can. I just decided to go with one color and then just use a second color to mark the details. But there's possibilities for way more detail, and you can be using a lot more colors on this. I wanted to keep it simple, keep it to these 16 colors that I picked out from the 24-piece set, so that's why we're only using these ones. We're gonna okay, let's do this top section here. Let's start on the other side. So this line that is like the frame, I'm going with more pressure. For the rest of the frame, I'm applying light pressure. Now let's go with the light pressure. Careful in this areas where it's smaller. Remember, go a little bit more careful when you're near another section that you've already colored. I like kind of following the edge of it, the contour, and then doing the layer. In a way, it protects that section you're working on, or the one you already worked on, sorry. almost there. My phone that I'm using to record the color along just told me that we are at 10%. So I'm going to try to make sure we can finish this before my battery dies. Let's see. And we're going to use the puppy red, the 922, for some of those details on the frame section. Whoopsies. Kind of went a bit over. That's okay. Just highlighting those sections right here. Defining the area just a little bit better. Just like that. All those lines that you want to highlight or mark with your puppy red, go for it. Okay, let's do the other side. If you need to sharpen your puppy red, go for it. I'm getting to the point that where I'm gonna have to. Just going over all those lines with our puppy red. That's what we're doing right now. Find the ones you want to trace and trace with your puppy red. I'm also going to use the puppy red just a bit for her lips right here. Just adding a bit more color to that. Okay. Let's switch now. We're going to use our light cerulean blue to do our background over here very lightly. Super light pressure. Just to fill the whole background very lightly. Try to use the side of your color pencil just so you're applying it really lightly. Hold it higher up. All those areas that we see need that little bit of color on the background. That's where we are applying our light cerulean blue. Anywhere else that you see we need it? Okay, let's go over her face. Let's do apple green for her eyes. Light pressure, just like that. Let's use the crimson red to do a bit of highlighting here on her. Bit of shadow on her eyes. For eyeshadow, she's wearing crimson red for eyeshadow. I'm applying it just like a little line under, and I applied a bit on the top part. Just like that. Let's check on her lips. Let's do a bit more of canary yellow for her lips. See. And let's go over her skin with peach again. That's good. Just want to go over any areas that we think need a bit of retouching. Let's just add a little bit more of the apple green on the side of her face. Just like that. And we'll apply the apple green also on these other areas in her skin. That's right. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed coloring this beautiful fairy from our Forest Fairy coloring book. Let's just make sure we sign today. Here's my black. I got it. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.